Right. Okay, so here's another great movie that I've seen this year. It's definitely going to be in my top 20. Is Ruben Östlund's The Square. Now, Ruben Östlund, we might remember.
I saw that today, too.
Oh, you saw it? Oh, good.
Yes.
So we can discuss it.
Oh, my God.
This is a really, really good movie. Okay, so Ruben Östlund, just in case you don't remember, had a movie a couple of years ago called Force Majeure that was nominated for the Best Foreign Film Oscar. Definitely one of my favorite movies of that year. A movie about the moral underpinnings of a particular event that happens to a family while they're on vacation in the Alps or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to tell you too much about it. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it immediately because it's really, really good, really funny, and weird. The Square hits that same kind of wheelhouse. It is also a movie about morality in small ways and big ways, but it takes place at a Swedish art gallery where we follow the head of the gallery, played by Klaus Bang, and he is ushering in a new event at the gallery that is led by this one piece of art called the Square. And the Square is, we see the Square at the very beginning of the movie being installed in front of the museum. And the Square is this square of light that's embedded into the pavement in front of the museum. And in the Square, there is a placard, a sort of a brass plate that says, "Within this square, all people have all rights, and everybody will be treated fairly within this square." So the movie goes on to set up a number of situations involving the head of the museum in which his morality is tested in various ways. There's by the way, a lot of this movie, even though it's Swedish, is in English, so that would explain the presence of people like Elizabeth Moss, who's in it, playing a journalist who interviews Klaus Bang at the beginning of the movie. And Dominic West, the star of The Wire, is also in here playing an artist. So there's there's a little bit of if you're tired of reading subtitles, there's a little bit of rest in this one. But I don't want to get too much into what happens in terms of his being tested, his morality being tested, but it definitely goes very, very odd places. Like, for instance, I guess the big scene in it, one of the big scenes in it.
There's a couple, Dean.
Yes. Well, tell me what you thought about it, Jerry.
Well, I liked it, but I went on. I guess I'm walking out of it today. I did go on Twitter and Facebook. There are parts of it, and I mean this in a good way. I know people sometimes think us film geeks, us film experts can get in a lot of trouble sometimes, and people can think we're being facetious for others. And things get lost over text, obviously, because of tone. No one knows tone. But it did, parts of it in a good way reminded me of Holy Motors. There was sort of and the scene I think that you're talking about in question certainly reminded me of Holy Motors. But there's such a level of creativity in the movie that you're sort of overwhelmed by. But I like this guy. This guy is obviously trying to make up a point. He's obsessed with the smartphone and what it means and its ramifications for society. And in this one, I think more so than in the previous film. Because the previous film, remember, the father goes, what does he get the avalanche? He rushes for the iPhone.
That's right.
Remember that.
Yes.
Remember that. That's very important for the rest of the movie. Here is the ramifications of the iPhone. It goes missing. It's just, I was trying to explain, I had a friend last night before we went to a concert, was trying to explain to my mom how that basically everything, our whole life is on these things. whether we like it or not. We just made it so our whole life is on the smartphone. And it's just, whether it's good or bad, it's just this vital invention. But he seems to have tackled it very well and, like, really bringing out the social implications of it. It was just kind of, the movie just works on so many different levels. You can't help but be impressed. And it gives you a lot of food for thought, I think. So I'm still thinking about the movie, Dean. That's why I'm a little bit quiet, because I'm just still trying to. So this conversation is helping, so that's good.
Yeah. I mean, for instance, let me bring up one of the things that happens in it. There's a piece in the museum that when you look at it all it is various piles of dirt that are piled up in a room. There's 16 piles of dirt, And in one scene we see a worker coming in, a janitor coming in to clean up the place. Later on, the administrator of the museum finds out, who's Christian is his name. Christian finds out that the janitor accidentally swept up some of the dirt. And so here's the morality question. Do we call the artist and fix it up, even though there might be some kind of payout that we have to make because of insurance and so forth? Or do we just go and get the dirt and just add it back onto the thing, and don't tell anybody about it? So that's just one of the, questions that he has to answer for himself. But there are bigger ones too that are a lot more thorny. But the famous, the soon-to-be famous scene, I guess, which you'll see if you go to the movie, it'll be on the poster, is a scene involving an actor who is playing an ape, playing an, and he actually, by the way, this actor did play an ape in the Ape movies, in the Planet of the Apes movies. So that actor,
wow, I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah, that actor did play an ape, and so there's a swanky party going on with people in tuxedos and everything, and I guess as a function as a piece of performance art, they have the actor come in to invade this space as an ape, and I don't want to tell you where it goes, but let's just say it is riveting. It's a little sort of 10-minute short film that could easily stand on its own. That's in the final third of the movie, but it is so good. It's so riveting. It's unforgettable, and like a lot of the movie is, I think it's just a really, really, really strong. Another really strong movie. He won the Palme d'Or for it. So it is this year's Cannes Film Festival winner, and I think deservedly so. I mean, I didn't see all the rest of the movies that were up for it, but boy, this was really, really good. I mean, he's a unique. Aslan's a very unique voice, I think, and he does seem to be concerned with things that are right in the thick of where we are now. So
right. No,
well, Force Majeure is made my top 10, so I'm anxious to see this one. I just wish this one had a different title, because the Square has been like so many movies. I mean, just a couple of years ago there was
the documentary
really
about Easter.
documentary, The Square. So every time I see The Square, I think of that documentary. I'm not thinking about the new movie.
Yeah, we've had The Circle this year. We've had The Square.
All we need is a documentary about the Circle and the Square theater group.
Yes. And, the Rectangle, that's got to be next, and but go see it. It's great. It's called The Square.
And they say American audiences don't like math. I mean, come on. All the geometry going on.
Yeah, oh my God, yeah.